And now, an indie artist reveal worldwide spotlight. James P.J. Spraggins, noted for touring with two-time Grammy-nominated Peabo Bryson, is a highly sought-after drummer-producer, supporting Billboard charting artists such as guitarist Eric Essex and Kim Scott. Spraggins emerged also as a solo artist, collectively garnering millions of Spotify streams, and has been featured on the Dave Cause Lounge on Sirius XM Watercolors. Relax and join the conversation with Indie Artists Reveal Worldwide. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another Music Monday out there. And I am Sabrina Taylor, creator and host of Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide. Yeah, I sure did want to say unsigned artist reveal. That was right on the tip of my tongue. How did you guys know that? We are in the middle of rebranding. We really pretty much have. There are a couple things that here and there that I find it's like, oops, I got to change this and change that. Listen, rebranding's a headache, but I promise you it is all worth it. Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide. Yours truly, Sabrina Taylor here. So glad to have you guys. I see you're coming in. Please make sure that you grab your handheld. Why? Because I want you to do what we always do on a Monday. Excuse me, and that is share. We're letting everybody know that we are on the air and we've got a special guest, a very special guest tonight. So I'm definitely sharing. Hope you guys are doing the same. Yeah, I see the eye has began to grow with people watching and comments are coming in. Thank you guys so much. I'm sure we're going to have some UK people come in. That just really warms my heart to have people stay up really late to see the show. That's great. That's great. That's absolutely amazing. It makes me feel so happy to be able to bring you great programming, something that you really, really want to see. Well, tonight we've got another special guest coming on. Yes, PJ is here. James PJ Spraggins is here in the house with us, and I got him on right there. Hey, PJ, how are you?
Hey, how are you, Sabrina?
I'm wonderful. What about yourself?
Awesome.
What about
I'm
you?
doing wonderful as well. Wonderful as well. It's a pleasure
Thank
to
you
be
for
here.
coming on. Thank you. I
Thank
just,
you for having me.
I'm honored. I tell you, I have listened to you, and there are times when I just kind of get into a mode and I just
Hmm.
close my eyes and I start listening to your music, and I can feel the passion and I can feel the drive um, in what you do. I know you love music for sure, and
Yes.
so glad that I am able to share your love of music with the Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide family. I where are you? I know I asked that back of house, but for those who might not even know who you are, I want to start by sharing, where you are in the world, PJ. Where are you located right now?
I am currently in Birmingham, Alabama. This is where
Birmingham.
I live and have lived for the past 22 years.
No way. Really?
Yeah. Hmm.
You think
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
ever you think you'll ever live anywhere else other than Alabama?
Um, I mean, I could, but
Huh?
not a whole lot of different places. I kind of like the South.
Do you?
So, yeah, love the South.
The
Um,
food is amazing down here.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Very much so. But
Oh,
yeah, Birmingham is a great city. It's a growing city. So I'm happy to be here. Like I said, for the last 22 years.
that's amazing. My gosh. I lived in Gary, Indiana. Well, at least the Northwest Indiana area because I
Hmm.
moved my husband. at the time.
Oh,
Was and still I don't
was
want to
been.
call
That's
him
the
an ex.
first.
Yeah, was band. Yeah.
Okay.
Was a builder, still is. And
Yeah.
we built a home, stay in that for a minute, build something else and move.
Okay.
And so I was from Gary to Miller Beach, which is still Gary, but that's like
Hmm.
the high end of Gary, Indiana. Miller Beach, Hobart, um, Merrillville. I've lived all over Northwest Indiana.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was born in New Mexico though.
no way.
Yeah, my
Really?
dad was in the Air Force in 1975. I was born in Clovis, New Mexico.
Ah,
So that's where the journey started.
started there. Well,
Yeah.
that's a great segue, PJ, because I want to know about your music journey.
Yeah.
Definitely want to hear about that. What was it, that inspired you to want to even, consider music? What was that? What was that inspiration?
Well, growing up, my mom and dad, they always had music playing in the house. Mom with the gospel, spiritual music, and my dad, although he can't sing, he loves music, and he could tell you anything about the music that he grew up with, which is Motown, Stax, um,
Yep.
the real music. So
Yeah.
w-
Yeah.
we grew up with that in the household, and one of my first, well, actually, my first musical memory is sitting crisscross applesauce in front of the phonograph player, record player, and
Ooh.
I had on a set of um, earphones, some really big earphones,
Yeah.
and I was listening to the record, the Clark Sisters. You brought the sunshine,
Mhm.
and I just
Mhm.
remember just staring at the record, listening to the sounds, and just being mesmerized by what I was listening to.
Now, PJ, was it one of those furniture type stereos? Do you know the one on wheels that
Oh no, no, it wasn't that one. It was more like a small suitcase,
Ah,
and you
oh,
open the top,
uh-huh.
and it revealed the record player. So
Yeah,
yeah, I wish I still had it. That's probably a collector's item
I
now.
bet. I
Yeah.
bet. Yeah. So the Clark sisters. So then you probably remember um Reverend James Cleveland.
Oh yeah, for
You
sure.
probably remember Andre Crouch.
Yep.
Um, you probably remember the Southeast Inspirational Choir featuring Yolanda Adams.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
all of this just great, great gospel music.
For
Yeah.
sure. So
So how'd
yeah.
you get how'd the drums come into play for you?
Let's see. I I vaguely remember my mom taking me and my brothers to a church. She was visiting a church at the time. I was very small. And
Yeah.
I remember when we first walked in the church, the first thing I saw and heard were drums. I saw this guy playing a blue drum set.
No.
And from the moment I walked in the door, I was fixated on that blue drum set and the sounds that were coming out when the
Yeah.
guy was playing. I was like, oh my God. I just stared at him the whole while we were there,
Yeah.
and I knew that drums were going to be part of my future. I didn't know how, but I knew
Yeah.
that that's what I wanted to do because I could feel what he was playing, and
Yeah.
it was just an incredible experience.
So then, was that the first instrument that you started playing,
Actually,
PJ?
it wasn't. The first instrument that I started experimenting with was a
Mhm.
piano. And
Ah,
how I got there, my grandmother, we would go there every Sunday to eat dinner after church, and
mhm.
she had an upright piano in the living room. And
Yep.
every time I went over there, I would go to that piano and just play the different notes and try to, you know, I guess imitate what I had heard on maybe cartoons or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, I remember picking out the notes for the Charlie Brown, the Peanuts song,
Mhm.
um, teaching myself how to learn, how to play that just by ear. So
Yeah.
piano
Yeah.
was my very first instrument.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. But then there was something about the drums. I mean, when you talked about it, you lit up just a
Oh
second
yeah.
ago. You just
Yeah.
really, really, really lit up. Oh my God. And I want to say hello to my sister and friend, Kat Carter from Friday Night Live. Are you familiar with Kat Carter, PJ?
I'm not, but I hope to be.
You need to connect with her. She
Okay.
has Friday Night Live every week. She
All
has a
right.
different creative on every week. So,
Cool. Well,
yeah.
hey, Cat.
He's going to come see you. He's going to come sit down and chat with you too.
Okay, cool.
Oh, absolutely. So, how many instruments do you play fluently, PJ?
Well, drums is first and foremost. That's my
Yeah,
main instrument. That's what I play live. But piano and keyboards, I play when I'm writing music in my studio.
sure,
And I play to a certain degree. I can pick out notes, I can play chords, and it depends on what kind of song I'm writing.
sure.
If it may be just enough for me to just play the chords and get by with that. But if I hear something a little bit more intricate, then I'll call several of my piano playing friends that really really know how to play piano and
Yeah,
say, hey, this is what I need to be done, but I need you to play it, take it to another level. So
sure,
yeah,
sure.
but drums first and foremost.
And then piano. And
Yes,
and
yes.
and so we've got all of our friends and family from Indie Artistryville. Madeline, well, Rose Lady. I don't know if
Oh
you're
yeah,
familiar with. I'm
yeah.
sure I would say now. I know you know Rose Lady.
Yes,
She is
yes.
in the chat, and just want to say good evening
Hey,
and
Rose
thank
Lady.
you so much for tuning in and watching with us. If you couldn't, um, and then we'll go to break right after this. We're right on schedule. If
Mhm,
PJ, if you couldn't be a creative, period,
mhm.
just couldn't play, what else would you be doing today?
I probably would be a pilot. And
Really?
actually, yeah, I absolutely love flying. I love planes. Um, Probably some type of pilot. Um, and
Wow.
actually, I've taken some pilot lessons, some flying lessons, and hopefully, you know, soon I'll complete that course and I'll be a private pilot, a licensed private
A
pilot.
licensed pilot.
Yeah,
Wow.
but
That's
that's probably what I would be doing.
really, I guess
Yeah.
I could see, I think I could see that. I think I
Hmm.
could. Think I
Yeah.
could. Well, we're so glad that you're gifted musically and that you are bringing us joy with all the music and definitely want to continue to talk about that. We are going to take our first break of the night, PJ.
Okay.
Hang out with us for just a moment or two. Won't take long, and we're going to be right back in the saddle. And I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. I see you're still coming in. Please make sure when you come into the chat that you guys share and tag and let people know, hey, this is what I'm looking at tonight. PJ Spraggins, well, James PJ Spraggins, he's on tonight, and we've got a lot to chat about, and we've got some music. So don't go too far. We'll be back in just a minute. Join us every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to hear the stories of artists you love and discover artists you'll learn to love on Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide via Facebook and YouTube. The expansion continues. You can locate us on 10 affiliate radio stations, rebroadcasting Indie Artist Reveal worldwide segments around the globe. Come on, join the indie community. Mid South. Are you ready? WWJ Events presents Grammy nominated Boney James with special guest Billboard charting artist Reagan Whiteside with live performances March 14th at the Jackson Convention Complex. Doors open at 7 p.m. Showtime 8 p.m. For VIP and general ticket information, visit www.jevents.com. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm Sabrina Taylor, creator and host of Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide. And yes, you see a New York nightline behind me because my dream, I'm putting it into the atmosphere, everybody. Okay. That is where I want to eventually take the show, right? To a beautiful high rise in Manhattan somewhere. Yeah, with a view like what you're seeing. And then we are like kind of going through the show, the artists will then be able to perform live. Why not make this happen for the indie artist? They're already doing the daytime and nighttime live for the world. Why not do it for the independent artist? This would just be phenomenal. So I've already put it in the atmosphere, and PJ, I want you to be one of them too. I want you to
Hey, I would love to. Love to.
come to New York,
I'm
have some
overdue
fun.
for a visit to New York.
Are you? Oh
Yes.
gosh, when was the last time you were there?
Actually, I was just there. What was it? June of last year of
Yeah.
2024, and
Wow.
I went to, I went up there. I wasn't performing, but I went to see the musical MJ,
Ah,
and it
how
was
was it?
fantastic.
Was
Absolutely
it?
fantastic. Yes,
How do you
yes.
how do you like New York?
I love New York to visit. I would not want to live there.
Kind of knew you were gonna say that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Being from the
yeah.
South, it is definitely a whole new world out
It
there.
is. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely.
Very noisy too.
It is. It's fast paced.
Very much so.
It's a beautiful city in some parts, and
Hmm.
you got to have the money to be able to see all of that. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
Every city has its bad parts and its good parts, but
Hmm.
um, New York is a very different kind of city.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful, beautiful at night, especially if you can see it from a rooftop, and
Hmm.
just amazing views. Just amazing
Oh
views.
yeah.
Well, I want to get back to learning more about you.
Hmm.
You are an amazing drummer. Yes,
Oh,
you are.
thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
you are. What was your first major? Can you remember your first major sideman gig, PJ?
Um, hmm. First major side man gig.
Yeah.
Um, Probably it was, what year was this? I think it was 2009, I believe. Um, I was playing in an orchestra setting. We were playing for, I believe it was Andrew Young over in Atlanta. It was his birthday celebration,
Look at that.
and Stevie Wonder was the featured artist, and I was in the orchestra playing drums, backing Stevie Wonder. So that was a dream
Ah,
come true. Yeah, that was
wow.
absolutely incredible because Stevie Wonder is my favorite artist of
Is
all time.
he? I
Yeah.
was just going to ask you, who are some of your influences, and not necessarily drummers, but
Mhm.
musically? Who are they?
Well, like I said, Stevie Wonder is
Stevie
number
Wonder for
one.
sure.
Um, I have it runs the gamut. You can go from Stevie Wonder to Bruce Hornsby, um, fantastic pianist, pop slash, I guess you would call it kind of like bluegrass or folk, but mainly pop pianist that he was popular back in the 80s and still has some great music out now. Um, let's see. Oh my God, all types of jazz artists, Duke Ellington, Art Blakey. Um, as far as drumming inspirations,
Yeah.
Max Roach, um, a guy that lives in Atlanta. He's from Philly. His name is Lil John Roberts. A big fan of his playing.
Got
Um,
it.
yeah, I just listen to a whole bunch of different type of music.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell you're not in a box.
Oh no,
and
nah.
and but I do hear the church influence. So
Yes.
do you sideman for some gospel greats? Can you name a couple? Do you
Yes,
travel with?
I've played with Byron Cage,
Love him.
orchestra setting.
Yeah.
Um, I've played with Karen Clark Sheard.
Oh,
Um, I've played with the Clark sisters as well. Um, Yolanda Adams. Let's see. Yeah, it's been a bunch of them.
look at you.
Yeah, it's been a bunch of them.
So you're a superstar. Look at
I don't know about that.
you're a superstar. You got all of the gospel greats, wanting you. I mean, everybody you've named, they're iconic. Byron Cage, I mean, the
Hmm.
Clark sisters. Yes,
Oh yeah.
indeed.
And all
Definitely.
of those were in an orchestra setting. There is um orchestra director that lives here in Birmingham. He's over
Yeah.
the UAB music department. His name is Dr. Henry Panion, and he puts on these concerts where he invites in a gospel artist, and he orchestrates their music. So you have live strings and a live band doing a concert with these artists. So we've been doing
Sure.
that almost 20 years now, and those are just a few of the artists that I've had the honor of playing with.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Indeed.
Hmm.
What are some insights, PJ, that you can share with other aspiring artists who say, I just want to side and I just want to gig with, and then they have their list of
Hmm.
inspired artists. Do you have any insight that you can share
I
in
do, and
supporting them?
that is to just have a whole of the intangibles of being a professional musician. And when I say
Mhm.
intangibles, that's something that you can't physically touch. It's something
Right.
that you do um behavior wise.
Sure.
Be on time. If you get called for a gig to play with
Yep.
somebody, be
Yep.
on time, be prepared. Meaning if they've sent you music beforehand to learn, when you get there to the rehearsal, already have it learned. Um, Dress appropriately for whatever show it is,
I love it.
and be easy to work with. Don't be confrontational all the time. Um, just be nice. Be nice, and
Wow.
doing those things will ensure that you get a call back, and that's what it's all
Exactly.
about.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting a referral
Yeah,
and or a
exactly.
call back. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh
If you
God.
handle that, you will have a long life in the music industry.
I
It's
love that.
just handling what you're in control of, and that's yourself, being on time, being prepared, knowing the
Sure.
material, all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of handling or, you know, eh, how you respond to things that you can control, what
that's
about
right.
those things? What about the things you can't control, like sound? What
That's a
everybody
good question.
everybody has had issues on stage with sound,
Yeah.
the best of them have. How do you handle sound issues when you're in the middle of a performance?
Well, you there's really not much you can do if the sound goes bad.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I would suggest is to basically don't let the audience know that you're
Yeah,
uncomfortable,
correct.
because your facial expressions while you're playing, if the audience sees that, they're gonna like, oh man, he or she is not really enjoying what they're doing, and that could make them have a bad experience at the
Sure.
show. But sound, that's another thing, because you have sound men and women that control the sound, and this goes back to being nice. you know there, you have to just think that they're doing their best to work out whatever issue you're having, and
Sure.
just be nice and be flexible, and just try to get through it the best way possible, because complaining about it, that's not going to help the situation.
No,
It's
no,
not going to
not
help
at
it at
all.
all. Just be
No.
nice and go with the flow.
Yeah, make the best
That's
of
my
it.
advice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great advice. That's great advice. How far have you like like traveled on tours while you were supporting other artists? What's the furthest that you've been, PJ?
Let's see. I've been to Beijing, China. Uh,
Ah,
yeah, what was that? 2019. I had the honor to go to Beijing, China, and perform at the Blue Note Jazz Club over there.
hmm.
I've been to Bahrain. That was in 2022.
Where? What country
No, I'm
is that?
sorry. That is that was 2023, top of 2023. That's over there near Abu Dhabi, in the Middle East.
Ah,
Yeah,
the
a
Middle
very
East.
small island,
Yeah.
but it's all the way on the other side of the world. So got a chance to play there.
Oh
That
God.
was really, really fun. So was Beijing.
Yeah.
Um, I've played in Paris, France. I've played in
Uh-huh.
Budapest,
Oh,
Hungary, um, Saint Lucia, several times there, and I'm sure I'll be playing in some other exotic places here soon.
I'm sure you will. You've
Yeah, but
been
I love to
all
travel.
I see you have to.
Yeah.
Because some of those flights have got to be like a whole day and then
Oh
some
yeah. I know the one
layovers.
to Beijing was like 17 hours. Yeah.
Oh, oh Lord.
Yeah, I had to
Oh.
make sure I had on my compression socks because
it,
that's a lot of sitting.
yes. So how do
Yeah.
you what do you do to preoccupy yourself while you're in flight like that, PJ?
Um, I like listening to audiobooks,
Oh,
that I've
okay.
already downloaded before the flight started. I like listening to podcasts.
Hmm.
Um, I really love Questlove Supreme. I really love
Hmm.
listening to their podcast. The drummer, Amir Thompson,
Yeah.
um, name of his
Oh yeah.
podcast. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Oh,
really
absolutely.
interesting stuff. Great interviews. And of course, listening to music. Um, and every now and then I'll watch some movies as well, but mainly I like to listen to podcasts and
Other
audiobooks. Hmm.
other audio. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, before we go to break, I do have one more question. What
yeah.
then, we've been talking about travel and all the beautiful places and faraway
Hmm.
places even. What is your favorite place out of all the ones you've named? Do you have a favorite place so far that you
Favorites, I would
Yeah.
have to say Paris, France.
Paris? Yeah.
Yeah, because
Why? Why?
so when I played there, we were there for I think 5 days, and we only had to play one day. But
Oh.
because of flights and travel and stuff like that, we got
Mhm.
to stay in the hotel for 5 days. So I
Oh,
took it upon myself to just go out into the city and experience
sure.
Paris. And I
Yeah.
walked from my hotel all the way down to the Eiffel Tower.
Mhm.
Um, got halfway up the Eiffel Tower, and I just saw the site, and I'm like, man, this is something else. Just to
I
be able
know.
to travel to different parts of the world, and
Yeah,
you know, to be there because of music. Music literally has taken me across the world.
it
So
has.
it's really cool. I
I'm
really
so
enjoyed
proud of you.
Paris.
I'm so proud of you, man.
Thank you,
And
thank
a
you.
little jealous too. I mean, you've been to Paris. That's like on my bucket list. I have a friend,
Yeah,
um, Tracy Eileen. I don't know if you know her. She's a
that name
vocalist.
sounds familiar. Sounds very familiar.
She is from Chicago.
Hmm.
She had a residency at Buddy Guy's for several years, but she just recently decided, probably it's been like 2 years now, but she
Hmm.
left the States and she went to Paris. She's Parisian now.
Oh wow, very
Yeah,
cool.
and she looks every bit of it now. I mean, every bit of it.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Paris is, Chin Year says Paris is pretty. and it is not far from
Hmm.
London. Do you know what? So, Chinyear, that has to be a reason for me to come
Yeah.
and hang out with you. Chinyear is such a sweetheart. She is so faithful, and she's always in this chat on Mondays, and it's 6 hours ahead of us. Do you know?
Hello, Chinyer. Thanks for
I
joining.
know she's beautiful, beautiful soul. Have you
Mm.
been to the UK? I'm sure you have.
I have not. I would love to
What?
go. Speaking of the UK,
Hmm.
um, one of I'm working on releasing two singles within the next 2 months, and I just
Uh-oh.
finished work on the one that's going to go to radio, and
Yeah.
that's it's featuring one of my good friends from the. I think he lives in London or the UK. Ali
Mhm.
Silk is playing piano
Ah,
on.
how did I
Yes,
know you were
yes.
going to say that? Yeah, he's amazing too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I've played
yeah.
with him in pickup bands when he comes to the States several
Hmm.
times. I'm a fan of his music, so this new song that I just finished with him is called High Five,
Okay.
and basically it's talking about it's 2025. I'm working on my fifth album. I'm turning 50 this year,
Look at
so
that.
and
Yeah.
also High Five is like a giving myself a encouragement for making it this far in music and in life and just
Right.
enjoying the ride. So
Yeah.
I think it's gonna do really well.
I think you're right. I think you're
Yeah.
right. I think you're right. Well, we are at the 8 o'clock hour already. Can you believe a half hour is
Wow, that went by
all?
quick.
I know. I know. I mean, when the conversation's good, it just goes quickly, and we're just happy
Yes.
to have you on. We're gonna take the last break, PJ. We'll be back with you in
Okay.
just a little bit, And I'm happy that you guys are here and that you are listening to the conversation. Great conversation. And PJ's been he's been all around the world. And it's just so amazing. I hope to be doing that pretty soon, PJ. But listen, everybody, please don't go too far because we've got the coveted music premiere coming up, and you don't want to miss that. All right. Well, you take care. I'll be right back in just a little bit. Get you some wine, popcorn, come right on back. And we will finish the conversation with our special guest, PJ Spraggins, on Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide.
Mid South. Are you ready? WWJ Events presents Grammy nominated Boney James with special guest Billboard charting artist Reagan Whiteside with live performances March 14th at the Jackson Convention Complex. Doors open at 7 p.m. Showtime 8 p.m. For VIP and general ticket information, visit www.jevents.com. Join us every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to hear the stories of artists you love and discover artists you'll learn to love on Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide via Facebook and YouTube. The expansion continues. You can locate us on 10 affiliate radio stations, rebroadcasting Indie Artist Reveal Worldwide segments around the globe. Come on, join the indie community.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. If you are just joining us, thank you so much. We've got a great guest on tonight. Our special guest this Monday, January. We're out of. Can you believe we're out of January?
That went by so quick.
What happened? I mean,
We just
it's
blinked and it's over.
it's gone. It is out of here. We're already in February, which is Black History Month, and I'm loving it. I am just excited about all the new music that we're going to see here and just here in 2025. So, PJ, did you watch the
Mhm.
Grammys? last
I
night?
did not. I did not.
You did?
I
Okay.
didn't. I plan to catch the videos on YouTube, just watch
Yeah,
the whole broadcast on YouTube. But
yeah,
I heard a lot of commentary on social media. Um,
yeah.
so I want to see it for myself. Yeah.
Okay, so it saves me the painstaking task of sharing some of the things that I saw.
Oh
It was
wow.
just kind of some of it was troubling, and then some
I
of
can
it was
imagine.
like, okay, you would
Yeah.
just look and go, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was it was really good. It was really good.
Hmm. Cool.
So I um I wanted to ask you, when was it that you knew? I mean, you've been traveling. I mean, you just shared how you've supported artists all over the world. You've traveled.
Hmm.
When did you decide, okay, I want to do this myself. I want to be a solo artist.
Oh, that's a great question. So
Yeah.
I've always been creating music ever since really high school. I used to make some extra money just making instrumentals of songs that were popular on the radio. I would,
Yeah.
make instrumentals of it because I didn't too much pay attention to the lyrics of songs. I wanted to hear the music. And I just wanted to hear the music. So I would make instrumentals and record a cassette tape and sell them at school for like $5. And I kept money in my pocket because I had like maybe five different people that would always buy a cassette from me. So that was really cool back then. But I said that to say that I've always been creating music and doing that then. Basically, I was able to start wanting to write my own music and
Sure.
compose my own music. So um, I tell this story. I was in college at Alabama State University,
Hmm.
and every musician's dream is to play for a big artist. Um, I'm like, man, I'm gonna get the call to play with Michael Jackson, when he was living,
Yeah.
Janet
Exactly.
Jackson,
Sure.
Prince, yeah, all those big artists. I wanted to play with all of them. And
Yeah.
but in the back of my mind, it would be like, okay, what if you don't get the call? Or until you get the call, what are you
Right.
doing in the meantime?
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
and I was like, I guess I need to start writing my own music and putting it out. So when I was in college, I put out, it was literally all self-produced. I did a CD of mostly original music and sold it to the students on campus, the faculty and staff of
Look at
Alabama State
you.
University. So that was my trial run, and that
Sure.
eventually led to the releasing of my very first CD, "The Light of Day,"
Yeah.
which I'm so glad I stayed with it and released that because it is literally paying dividends today. And that came out in 2006.
No way. Really?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
So I,
But
I decided to do that while waiting on the big call from the,
on the calls.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you can travel.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
But
That's amazing.
almost, I guess this year will be the 19th year since I released The Light of Day. And I kid you not, that whole CD, that is like the main, especially Nocturnal Drive from that CD. That
Yeah.
is the most popular song in my repertoire.
I
And
know it is, right?
people still talk
Man,
about how much they love it. And I'm just so thankful that people are still listening to it to this day.
I know, right? Because I love my Spotify,
Hmm.
and I'm always there, looking for something and or someone. But when I knew that you were coming to the show, of course, I went to Spotify.
Hmm.
Um, the Light of Day has over 700,000 streams noted.
Yeah, that song by itself. But the most popular is Nocturnal Drive, which
And,
I checked
right.
a couple of days ago. It's
Yeah.
1.2 million and over just on
That's where I
Spotify
was
alone.
going. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You have
Hmm.
over 1 million. That's so amazing how
I'm just
music
blessed.
just, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So amazing. So, since we're talking about your music, let's jump to that.
Hmm.
So, that first CD, since then you have what? You've got three
Three,
more?
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, 2012, I released Pure Logic,
Yeah.
and that's probably the most comprehensive as far as covering different genres in one album. You know, you got gospel, you got hip hop, of course, you
Ah,
have jazz,
yeah.
you have a little bit of spoken word on there as well. And I'm even singing an original inspirational song on the end of that album. Um, so listen to Pure Logic if it's on Spotify.
It
Um,
sure is. I'm
yeah.
looking at it. Yeah.
Then
Well,
mhm.
we talked behind the scenes about Pure Logic, and there was a particular song called Grandma's Groove you wanted
Yes.
to share with us about. Talk about that.
Yeah, so Grandma's Groove is very special to me. I wrote it for my grandmother. She has since passed on, but she did get a chance to hear it before she passed, and she loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but how it came about, so I think it was 2011. That's when I was working on that whole album. So I was getting ready to go to St. Lucia to play for a
Mhm.
jazz concert there. And
Right.
we were opening, the band I was playing for was opening for J.R. Albright. So, being that we flew to St. Lucia out of Atlanta,
Yeah.
everybody that was going on that trip were flying on the same plane to
Mhm.
St. Lucia. So, of course, I was, was and is a huge J.R. Albright fan.
Me
So,
too.
I was like in fanboy mode when I saw him, and
I get
but
it. Yeah.
I didn't want to bother him. I saw him from a distance. I was like, man, that's Gerald Albright. I get to
Yeah.
open for him. But
Oh
long
my
story short, we were on the plane. We got to St. Lucia. Once we got to the hotel,
Mhm.
everybody was checking in. I was standing off to the side with my headphones on,
Yeah.
listening to what would become Grandma's Groove. Listening, see if I can add anything else to it.
Sure. Yeah.
Gerald Albright walked over to me,
No way.
introduced himself, and asked me what I was listening to. And I was like, I'm listening to some original music that I'm working on for my next album. He's like, oh yeah?
Oh,
He's like, let me check it out. I was like, really? And I gave him
wow.
my headphones. He actually listened about a good 3 minutes. I thought he was just gonna hear it for a few seconds
Few
and,
seconds
give it
and give
back.
it back.
He
Right.
listened for a good 3 minutes.
That's
And
amazing.
he was like, okay, sound good. He's like, let me know if you need bass on anything. I was like, are you serious? So,
Yes,
because a
yes,
lot of
and
people
yes.
don't know he plays bass guitar.
He
He
does
plays
play
bass on
bass.
all his projects. So,
Yeah.
and I knew that because he used to be Anita Baker's MD,
Bass
musical
player.
director.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Yeah.
So when he said that, I was like, okay, I'm going to take you up on that. So we got
Yeah.
back to the States. I sent him Grandma's Groove
Mhm.
and the little, rinky dink bass line that I played. I was
Mhm.
like, have your way. I'm not telling you what to do. Just play whatever
You
you
do
hear.
you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he did that. And the result is what you hear on the album today on the song Grandma's Groove.
Oh,
He
that's
basically
a
made the song what it is because of that bass line.
Gerald Albright is
Yeah.
just a phenomenal. You have to
Yes,
break
he
that
is.
one word up, okay, and make it several pieces.
And
Oh,
he's
he's just a
super nice guy
yeah,
too.
he is.
Yeah.
He really is. I totally, totally agree. And so your latest release, which
Mhm.
this is just all working. I love how it's flowing. Your
Oh,
latest
thank
release to date is Metamorphosis.
you. Hmm.
Talk a little bit about the players and collaborators of that?
Well,
All that
that's a song that I produced. I played most of the keys. I did all the drum programming and bass programming.
okay.
And this particular song, Metamorphosis, I wanted to incorporate one of my favorite keyboardists and producers, Phil Davis. He's an Atlanta
Uh,
native,
yeah.
Grammy winning
Yep.
songwriter, producer. He's worked with Boney James, Norman Brown. He
Mhm.
has a catalog of his own music as well.
Sure.
And I've been knowing him for the past almost 25 years, and I've been a fan of his music. So it was a real treat, um, to get to work with him on this particular song, Metamorphosis. He's
Yeah.
playing a really, really inspirational synth solo on that song. And
Right.
I love what he did. He brought it to life and just it just took on a life of its own.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Definitely want the fam to make sure you go to whatever. I'm a Spotify person
Hmm.
because it it calculates and tells me, spits out suggestions that I really really love. You have
Yeah.
other um, you know digital platforms like Amazon and whatever.
Hmm.
They'll make suggestions, but I don't know. There's something about Spotify for me that I have found some really, really great artists, knew nothing about them,
Hmm.
and in hopes to get them on the show because that's really what I want to do. That's my whole purpose of visiting Spotify is to bring to light all
Hmm.
the great music that they're being inundated with that most of us will never hear, you know.
True.
But if I
Yes.
can hear it and I can connect with them, I can get them on and just kind of get them into the flow of our world, and
Mhm.
you never know. You may hear them and say, "Hey, who are you? I didn't hear about you. Oh, you were on such and such. Hey,
Exactly.
I'd love to collaborate with you." You just never know who you're going to meet and where.
That's
And
true.
so that's
Very
why I
true.
love that. But tonight we're not going to spotlight the Metamorphosis track. We're actually going to spotlight you live playing on a track called Grace and Mercy. Talk
Hmm.
about Grace and Mercy. And by the way, I
Hmm.
love that track. I really
Thank
do.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Grace and Mercy is on my current, well, my latest album,
Mhm.
Stick It Out. Um, it's a song I wrote on there. It features Sean Michael Ray on bass, Cameron Sankey on piano, Theo Guccides on guitar, and
Yeah.
saxophonist Melvin Butler. Uh, he's also the saxophonist for the Brian Blade project.
Hmm.
Um, Extremely talented saxophonist. So got those guys all together online,
Yeah.
um, and we were able to get this song going. But this is probably my most favorite song of all the songs that I've written.
Oh,
It's the one
really?
that's, all my songs are near and dear to my heart, but this one is really special to me because I wrote it during a tumultuous time in my life.
Right.
2020, we had the pandemic.
Man, what you said.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And a lot of my musician friends, including myself, during the pandemic, we had no work. There was nothing going on in the way of
Nothing.
live music.
Yeah. I
So
remember.
yeah, but because I was able to put out my own music uh, years prior to that,
Sure.
I was able to sustain myself through the pandemic because of that.
Look at that.
And thinking about that, thinking about the fact that I'm able to travel across the
Mhm.
world safely. We fly planes and buses and all this stuff
Yes.
all
Yes.
across the world, and we're able to get back home safely. To me, that's because of God's grace and mercy.
Yeah.
So that, and also, I went through a divorce a couple of years ago as well, and
Yeah.
I think my my faith really sustained me through that difficult time.
Sure.
And it goes back to grace and mercy. So I wanted to write a song that basically conveys my thanks to the creator for keeping me safe and keeping me, sane through all that time.
Through
And
it all.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
through
song
it
that I
all.
came up with. And, you know, to
Woo!
this day, I get goosebumps when I listen back at it. And
Mhm.
especially
Mhm.
toward the end, the soaring saxophone
Yeah.
solo. I mean, I'm just, oh my goodness. I almost tear up every time. That's
Oh,
one of my first songs that actually made me shed some tears after I wrote it.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Hmm.
Somebody and and this doesn't happen often that, I don't like spotlight the latest release, but it's on your latest CD.
Exactly.
It is on that. But when I saw that today, it did exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, if I needed it, somebody else is going to need this.
Yes. And it's
So
on this CD
there
that
you
you see
go.
that. That's the
Look.
latest CD, Stick It Out. You can get it on my website, www.jamespjspraggins.com, or you can get it on Amazon. Or if you want to download it, go to any of those streaming sites, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music is there.
Well,
It's good
I
stuff.
want them to see you play. He's literally live playing. Nice camera shots on him and everything. So, you guys, I want you
Oh,
to
thank you.
enjoy Grace and Mercy by our guest tonight, James PJ Spraggins. We'll be back in just a little bit. Enjoy. My God. Oh, that sax man is rough.
Oh, yes, he is. He is. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Ooh. And you can't make me believe that you guys weren't all in the same space when you were.
Exactly. Yeah, I worked up the demo in my home studio,
That's crazy.
um, sent it to Cameron. He has his home studio about
Yeah.
30 miles from where I live.
Uh-huh.
Um, Sent it to Theo, the guitarist. He has his own home studio, and
Wow.
sent it to Melvin Butler. He has his own
Wow.
home studio. So I just
Wow.
mixed it all together, and um, the idea came out. It just blew my mind when it all came together, and way better than I could ever have imagined. Yeah.
That that is why I said, wait a minute. This is it. And I was in honestly, it just changed the whole makeup of what I was going to do today
Hmm.
when I heard it because honestly, I just needed a snippet for my promo of you today.
Yeah.
And then when I listened to the entire, I said, "This is the premiere right here." I didn't care how old it was. It just spoke to me. You
I'm
know,
glad it did. I'm glad it
it
did.
was it, and I am so glad um, that I was able to hear it.
Hmm.
But that's how God is. You have your
Yes,
mind made up on what you want to do, but He knows what someone else needs. And if you're
that's right.
willing to listen, He'll talk to you and change up your whole plan, you know.
True.
And that's exactly what happened with the premiere on tonight. I am so happy that I listened because sometimes I know it's like, no, 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 I want to do what I want to do. But you guys have got to connect with PJ. When people hear your music, what is it? What do you hope they're getting from it, PJ?
Well, as a musician, as a creator of music, my whole thing is I want to be able to help somebody have a better day when they
Yeah,
hear my
yeah,
music.
yeah,
Is to me, it's not about, I want to sell a whole bunch of downloads or streams. That's not my main priority. My main priority is making something that connects with the listener.
sure.
And first, it has to connect with me.
Yeah.
So, um, I it may sound selfish, but I don't really make music for people. I make it for myself.
Ah,
I make it to listen, you know, it's creating something beautiful, and it's beautiful to the point where you like listening to it. I
yeah,
myself, I love listening to it. Not
sure,
because I made it, but I knew I did my best in trying to create an idea that was in my head. And
sure.
being able to hear that back in real time is something, and it's healing for me. So I
Right.
know if it means that much to me, it's gonna touch somebody else too when they hear it.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. Because Madeline says, when that came out, the album cover is what caught her attention before she went to even hear
Oh
the music.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
hmm Yeah.
Interesting.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
So, there are different ways to inspire people.
Hmm.
90% of the people that I've talked to would say, I want them, and I know you want people to love the music. And because
Yeah.
I heard you say, well, but I'm a little selfish in that
Hmm.
I I want to like it. You know,
Yes, I have to like it first,
it has
and
to.
it's gotta be right to me and sound
Yep,
good to me and touch me
I
first.
get that.
And if I
Yeah,
get that feeling, then I know 9 times out of 10, who else is listening is they're gonna get that
it's
same
gonna
feeling
feel.
too.
Yeah, they're
Hmm.
gonna feel it too.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
Well,
very
so
important.
what's next? Yeah, what's next for you then?
Um, like I mentioned earlier, I have two singles that I'm very excited about that are coming out. The first one is called "Move to the Groove." It'll
Okay.
be available on all the streaming outlets on
Hmm.
March 7th. So that's an exclusive for
Oh,
you, Sabrina,
yeah,
because this is the
yeah.
first time I'm telling anybody about it.
I
So
love it.
and it's also not a departure, but it's something different from what I've done before because it features a vocalist. Um,
Oh, okay.
if you could think Maze featuring Frankie Beverly meets
Yes. Yes.
October London meets Norman
Uh-huh.
Brown.
Uh-huh.
It's like
Oh
that
my
because it
God.
also features Jordan Love on guitar.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
yeah, so he's playing guitar. I did all the other instruments and also features a good friend of mine that lives in Huntsville, Alabama. His name is Cedric Draper. He's
Hmm.
doing the vocals. So
Okay.
I think this one is gonna be well received when it comes out. And basically, Move to the Groove is it's a song, a little short song that I wrote, um, basically talking about the feeling I get as a drummer when
Hmm.
I see people dancing to my beat.
Your
You know,
music.
whenever I'm playing live, I like to see people tapping their foot, bobbing their head,
Nod their
dancing.
heads.
That means I'm doing
Yeah.
my job.
Yep,
So the feeling that
exactly.
I get seeing people react to the music, that's what this song is about. Move to the Groove.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Well,
just
in
a fun
addition,
song.
right,
Hmm.
exactly. And in addition to did you had mentioned that there were new projects coming out, but I didn't know if you had
Yes,
something like another a live performance that's coming up. And
yes, I
actually,
do.
Madeline, she's your PR person tonight. She says grab some tickets because if you're in the Atlanta area, you are going to need to get them
April
at St. James.
17th. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
April
Hmm.
17th.
April
I'll be at St.
17th.
James. Yeah, April
Okay,
17th. That's a Thursday evening.
got it.
I'll be at St. James Live. That's my absolute favorite live jazz venue to play at.
Got
So
it.
I would love to see everybody that lives in Atlanta and
Okay,
surrounding areas at St. James. And Jan Ham, another good friend of mine. Hey, Jan. She was at the concert that I played at this weekend. My good friend
okay.
Kim Scott, she had
Oh
her
yeah,
album release concert here in Birmingham,
in
and Jan was
Birmingham.
there. Yeah,
Oh my gosh. I
yeah,
saw pictures and I heard her singing a Frankie Beverly song. Well, heard
yeah,
her.
yeah. We
She
had a
can really
great
sing,
time.
can't she?
Yes, she
Yeah.
can. She can sing and she
Yeah.
can play that flute. I'll tell you. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, she can sing and she can play. You
Hmm.
guys are just so multi-talented. It's so amazing. You just don't know what else lies under an artist until you peel back that banana, get them in a
Yeah.
chair, and get them talking about themselves, and you start learning so much
True.
about the
True.
artist. And I am so glad that you decided to come. And Madeline, Madeline said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. That was the 17th."
Oh, it's all good. I'd
It
love to see you
is.
there, Madeline.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely,
ma'am.
absolutely. Well, make sure you guys go to the hub, and I'm sure everything is there on your website, right?
Yes, on my
Okay,
website, and they can follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Um,
exactly.
yeah, and I just posted a clip from that show with Kim Scott this weekend. My
Yeah,
wife was in the audience, and she took some video with her phone.
yeah.
I basically combined that video with the camera behind my drum set, and we got
I
a
saw
kind of
that.
like a multi-camera of my drum
Hmm.
solo.
I loved that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
Instagram James PJ Spraggins,
Mm-hmm.
Facebook James PJ Spraggins and
Mm-hmm.
PJ Spraggins,
PJ
as well
Spraggins.
as YouTube. I post a lot of content there and on TikTok. I try to
Oh,
stay on
that's
top of
right.
my social media stuff.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
couldn't get all of it on. I tried. Yeah, I was like, well, let's get the three main ones on,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then they can go to James P PJSpraggins.com.
Yep,
Yes, and then you have
jamespjspraggins.com.
links on the hub where they can go to all of your pages,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, cool
Yes.
beans. So if you go to the hub, you can find everything that leads to PJ.
Yes.
And we are so grateful that you came by to chat with us, and finally you've graced the stage. I can finally say, oh, I had him on too. He was on in
And
2025.
it is a
I
pleasure. Thank you so much for the invite. And I hope to be back on soon.
You have got to come back. I
Yeah.
when you guys come back, that really warms my heart, because it's like, okay, so they were digging it, so they came
Hmm.
back. That means something. That really
Yeah.
does. Yeah,
Well, I just want to
yeah.
remind people of the single that's coming out, "Move to the Groove." It's dropping everywhere March 7th, and the one with Ollie Silk called "High Five" that'll be out everywhere April 17th.
April 17th.
Yep.
The same day that you're going to be at St. James Live.
I'm sorry, April 18th, but I'll be
18th,
there
the
the
day
day
after.
before. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So be
Still a
looking out
reason
for
to
those.
celebrate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Still a reason
I'll be
to
celebrating
celebrate.
all year.
I know, right? I know. And
Yeah.
just don't stop celebrating.
Hmm.
Well, I just want to thank all of you guys who stayed with us till the end, and those who came in, and there were other things that they had to give their attention to. I appreciate you even coming in for the moment that you were in, and then those who will catch the replay. Thank you so much for catching the replay. And I just appreciate the support of indie artist Rayville worldwide. Thank you guys so, so very much. And listen, remember, what you make happen for others, God will definitely make it happen for you. You guys, you take care of yourself. And I will see you next week. I got another special guest. I'm not going to tell you who, and you know who this is. He's been on before, but he was with a group. I'll tell you this. Let me make sure that this is the week that's coming up. He's with with an iconic group. If I told you the name of the group, you say, wait a minute, I know that group. Let's see if it's the 10th. Yep. He's with a very iconic group, legendary group, and now he is doing a solo artist. Um, I don't want to call it a stint, but he's decided to become a solo artist. I don't know for how long, but the group, I love them. I love them. And so, but he's coming. I want to share his new single, and I want you guys to be here to support it. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, listen, you take care. I'll see you again on next week.